So, just to get you guys into the loop about what I'm talking about, um, something came up a little while ago. When was it exactly? Uh,
I want to say within the last 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
yeah, it's definitely been more than 2 weeks. And I actually meant to bring this up in discussion a lot sooner. And then we had one of our friends complain to us saying that we didn't talk about it at all. So this is for him. Five Nights at Freddy's has a new game coming out called Sister Location. This is not Freddy Fazbear's. At least that's what I'm assuming it's not called because from what I can see, there are not. I don't see any of the original animatronics, at least on the website that I'm looking at. But Scott Cawthon has definitely upped the ante on how disturbing these things look. Because they look disturbing, and but they also look really good for just a horror game. But then it kind of makes me just think, like, in this game world, who's the sicko who thinks that these are entertaining for kids? Like, if I was an 8-year-old going into a Chuck E. Cheese-esque restaurant and then these things were singing on a stage, I would want to leave as fast as humanly possible. And even now, as a grown young man, I would want to leave the restaurant as soon as possible. These things look terrifying. Um, Not a lot of information has been released about these, other than there's a few trailers online on their wikis. They have a couple of pictures, one of whom I'm assuming, or Baby, which I'm assuming is the sister part of Sister Location. Just because it looks like a little clown girl got out a clown part to it because the normal animatronics aren't disturbing looking enough. And then I don't think there's a name for this, but what looks like to be the squid-looking robots from The Matrix with a baby clown face on it that has one eye and half of its face is coming off. Why? Why? What is that doing in a little kid restaurant? Like, I don't. As a horror game, these look terrifying and they fit perfectly. But this is also a restaurant, and unless this restaurant has been closed for a while and this is just like the product of decaying animatronics that haven't been kept up with, there's no reason that this thing should exist. And, uh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I might play it just one time, just for fun, but these things look disturbing. Uh, Steven, what are your thoughts?
Um, I think we can definitely overthink this and wonder, why in the world we're designing these types of things. Um, the thing about that made the Five Nights at Freddy's series, I think, so um, both appealing and frightening at the same time is it does take something that is supposed to be, innocent and uh, fun and all things good and just turn it on its head. And with the context of it being at night, these things walking around and potentially killing you, that's what adds to that's really what sets the whole tone of these types of games. So yeah, with this clown girl, with pretty much all the animatronics that we've seen from Scott's trailer that he released a few weeks ago. It looks like the designs of the animatronics were made with moving facial plates, and I guess that was to actually give more animation and expression to their faces. I'm trying to meet you halfway here. I don't know if you've caught that or not. I'm trying to actually give you a practical reason as to why their faces could potentially just pop open and like eat your face off.
There's no reason for it. Oh, it's so terrifying.
That should be the tagline. Sister location. There's no reason for it. But I'm definitely not one of these people that thinks like, oh my goodness, it's another Five Nights at Freddy's game. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Don't play it. This is honestly, I don't play these games, but like you had mentioned on the last podcast, I sure do enjoy me some either Twitch or YouTube gamers just playing these games and scaring the daylights out of themselves. That's entertainment, let me tell you.
Yes,
And I just, I think this is going to continue that time-honored tradition of watching people on the internet scaring themselves playing a scary game. So yeah, I can't wait for it to come out, and I can watch Markiplier and other people have a blast with it.
you don't hear very many people say like, "Oh man, I'm super excited for this game." You hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, there's another one, really?" Hasn't there like been 5 in the past year and a half? It's like, look, people are playing these. Very large amounts of people are playing these, so there's a reason for them coming out.
Right. And you had mentioned that, and I initially, most of the fan games that have come out regarding Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm sorry. If you enjoy them, that's great. I don't like the idea of people just making fan games because you don't have enough creativity to make your own. Okay, this is not like writing fan fiction. This is you making money off of someone else's idea, and I don't like that. However, out of all of that mess, someone actually created, dare I say, a better Five Nights at Freddy's game than Scott did. And that game is The Joy of Creation, which is you're not locked down. It's still first person, but you are not locked down to one location. It's running in Unreal Engine 4, I want to say.
Yes.
It's a beautiful game. I don't think that he has. I believe the maker's name is Nick something. But yeah, just search Joy of Creation and you'll see more Let's Players. I would say it's scarier than Five Nights at Freddy's. And you only have to deal with one animatronic at a time, but some of them are just...
They're unique. Like, they don't all act the same.
Yeah.
Like, some of them, I think, Chica, like, I guess the most original one I want to say is Freddy. He just kind of like walks around, and if he sees you, he'll come at you. But then some of them are like you have to do certain things to keep them away from you. Like Chica, I think if you look at her, she won't follow you. Um, and they're also in different locations. Like Freddy's in like an office building looking place. Chica's in like a forest. Bonnie's in like a basement. I forget where Foxy's
I
at.
thought Foxy was in more like a basement.
Yeah, he was.
Because it's really dark in Foxy's location.
Yeah.
Um,
They all have their own unique thing that just like in the normal Five Nights at Freddy's games, like I think the fourth one, they all have like their own thing that they do. Like Freddy's normal. Chica has like a cupcake that she'll send after you now. Foxy's terrifying in general. And I guess Bonnie is kind of normal too. But in this one, they all have like their own thing. That kind of to like keep you on edge, you can't do the same thing for all of them and beat them. You have to mix it up and figure out what the pattern is.
yeah. And they play the Joy of Creation pretty much plays like the Slender game, where you have to avoid the animatronic, go around, pick up objects, and if you pick them all up, you win. I'm pretty sure that's still in development. But as far as a fan game goes, and I think Scott should work with this guy, and they try to like combine game ideas and completely, hey, even remake Five Nights at Freddy's and have it not just be, pre-rendered backgrounds and animations, which that is, but that kind of has its own creepiness level to it. But when you are actually able to move around, man, I could just imagine how that would work out.
Gosh, could you imagine VR?
I don't want to.